I'm about to hop on a virtual consultation for something that I'm actually kind of nervous about and also a little nervous to talk about what it's for, but I'm not going to explain right now because this is just a consultation. Nothing is really in the works yet. I will definitely share soon or when the time comes if this proceeds forward. But tomorrow I also actually have an appointment with a physical therapist, like a pelvic floor physical therapist. This is actually somebody I saw once before a couple of months ago. She did the evaluation on me for hypermobility just to see if that might be part of what causes some of my chronic pain. Kind of ruled out hypermobility, but she also is a pelvic floor physical therapist. That's something that I've always been curious about or kind of interested in exploring. I've done lots of other physical therapy before, but really wanted to just kind of make sure that like deep core muscles and pelvic floor health is all in a good place, and that, if there's anything that I need to work on or that I can incorporate like into my workouts to help make me stronger, more stable, all of that stuff. I just thought it would be like a good thing to check in on, kind of check off my list, make sure there's no issues there. But I'm really curious to see like what her thoughts are, or like what kind of homework she might give me or whatever. That will be tomorrow morning. But first we're going to do this virtual consultation for this mystery thing that I'm not talking about yet.
Hi, Megan.
Hello.
How's your day so far? For me today, I kind of want to get to know you a little bit and make sure we're a good fit. I already know that's going to be awesome. Like, you're in my world. I love that. I would love it actually if you just kind of like educated me as much as you can. Like, just run me through what you're seeing, thinking about.
I'm about to go do my workout this morning, and as you can see, my Oura Ring data a little lower in terms of like readiness and recovery than usual. My sleep was still pretty good, but my resting heart rate is slightly elevated. Morning, I do feel like I'm a little bit fatigued as well, and given that there are some signs maybe that my recovery hasn't been as good, even though I slept okay, I'm just gonna take it a little bit easier today. We're just doing a little bit lighter weights, higher repetitions, and kind of see how I feel and go from there. Sometimes I do, like I said, get a boost from that, and all of a sudden I feel really good and can like do sort of my normal workout. But if I continue to feel fatigued as I'm warming up, then I'll just really keep it more minimal and hope that I can get my recovery back where it needs to be going forward. But also last night I didn't use my sauna like I have been most nights, and I'm wondering if maybe that could have contributed to why my resting heart rate didn't get to its usual level. Could be a sign that my body is just dealing with a little something or just struggling a little bit more for whatever reason. So just going to keep that in mind as I go get some movement this morning. Also going to test out the new workout shoes that I got. I do think these might be a little too big. It's really hard to tell because like the ones that I have feel like they might be a tiny bit too small, and these feel like they might be a tiny bit too big. So I'm gonna take them for a trial run. Luckily, the company has a really nice return policy. You can try them for 100 days and return them, no questions asked, which with something like this I think is really important because like I don't know how I'm gonna feel about my workout shoes until I actually work out in them. So we're gonna give these a try, see if they feel better than the ones that I currently have or if they maybe are a little too big. Just finishing up my workout, I do feel better as always, even though coming into it I was pretty just sort of feeling a little blah, but scaled back the weights, just did fewer sets and reps than I normally would, and now I feel like I have an energy boost. I just feel looser, I feel mentally more clear. I know it's gonna help me get the good night's sleep and the recovery tonight that I want so that I can kind of get back to my baseline. As for the shoes, I do like them. I'm still not really sure if they're like a little big or not. They feel really comfortable while I'm wearing them. I do have to tie them a little bit tighter because they do feel a little wider than the other ones that I have. I would prefer the white color, but they didn't have them in this size when I ordered them, so that's why I got the black ones just to try. I think what I might do is order white ones in the size smaller just as a comparison. Maybe kind of a lot of effort to get the exact right workout shoes, but I wear them like every day and it really does make a big difference to how my workout feels, so I want to make sure I get it right. Just got back from my physical therapy appointment where we did pelvic floor physical therapy, or basically assessment. We're looking at like deep core muscles, diaphragm, breathing, whether you're able to coordinate and control muscles of your pelvic floor correctly and like make sure that they're not too tight or too weak. I mentioned I've done a fair amount of physical therapy in the past, but I had never done like a deep dive on pelvic floor physical therapy, and I just kind of wanted to check that box and make sure that there was nothing going on there that I needed to pay attention to or that could really use some work. And for the most part, she didn't find anything that was like glaring or concerning in any way, but it did really match up with other things that I notice in my body. So like my left side tends to be weaker, my left glute in particular is harder to activate. I have a little like more rotation on my right side, and I tend to have some tension and pain on my right side. And in terms of pelvic floor muscles, like everything was working really well and able to contract and relax appropriately, but there are still some things that I can kind of work on, like coordinating and like working with my breathing and stuff like that, to hopefully not only make sure that pelvic floor muscles are doing their job, but also then maybe help the rest of my body do a better job and kind of work on the little imbalances that I have noticed for a long time. Maybe get that left side a little more activated and stronger, relieve some tension on the right side. So I'm gonna do a few more sessions with this physical therapist, get some exercises to do, some things that I can add into my workouts, kind of into like my everyday awareness, and see if we can make a little bit of progress in some of these areas. Good morning, it's Saturday morning. I'm about to head over to a coffee shop to meet a friend, actually a friend slash client. So we were friends first for many years, and now she's doing some coaching with me. So we're just meeting to catch up and also get her set up for her next round of coaching. So that will be nice to see her in person. Usually we're just doing a Zoom meeting. And then when I get back, actually earlier this week, I restocked on a whole bunch of supplements. These are the things that are regular parts of my sort of everyday rotation. So I thought I would just go over some of the things that I'm really using on a daily basis, kind of the reasoning behind it, how it's helped me. So yeah, gonna go hang out at a coffee shop for a little bit and then we'll come back and do a little supplement haul. Okay, it's a while later, and like I said, I wanted to go through some of the supplements that I just restocked. These are the things that really have become staples in my daily routine, and they're things that I know are really helping my body function at a better level or helping something specific that I'm trying to target. Obvious disclaimer here, I'm not a doctor. I'm not suggesting that anybody else take these supplements without talking to your own doctor. These are things that are specific to me and my situation, but also I think can be helpful to share in case there are people out there that maybe have similar symptoms or struggles and aren't really sure what to try or where they might start. Some of the things that I take now are things that I have heard randomly or heard from other people that have dealt with chronic fatigue that they've shared they take or have helped them in some way, and then I've gone to my doctor, ask them about it, and sometimes it is something we end up trying or that I end up using for a long time or works really well for me. So I do want to share some of these things with explanations behind why I'm taking them, why they might be helpful, in case it might be useful information for somebody else. The first thing that I restocked is vitamin C, and this is a buffered vitamin C. which basically just means that it's like easier on your stomach. Sometimes vitamin C can cause a little bit of stomach upset. This is basically just something I take twice a day as general immune support, but I also like to have it on hand. Like now during winter when there's a lot of stuff going around, if I'm traveling, sometimes I might just take a little bit extra to give my immune system a little more of a boost. So vitamin C is something that I take daily, and this version is going to ensure that I'm not going to get an upset stomach from it. Next thing that I restocked is a vitamin D K2. So this is a liquid, obviously. I do a few drops of this every morning. This one I take for several reasons. One, I'm in Minnesota and it's the winter. It's very hard to get enough vitamin D from sunlight this time of year. I've also had my vitamin D levels tested and pretty regularly retest, so I know that I'm not getting too much, and I know that generally my levels tend to be a little bit low, or when I'm supplementing, they tend to be right where I want them to be, so I continue to take this. And I also take vitamin D with the K2 because specifically I'm trying to target bone health. I've had low bone density in the past, and given my heavy metal situation, that's going to be another factor in just kind of like generally depleting my body of nutrients overall, but also heavy metals, when they get stored in your body, can get stored in your bones and can therefore cause problems with bone density. So keeping on hand lots of support for all the things that go into building bone and maintaining that bone density is really important to me. So I will take this vitamin D year round, and then maybe just like a little bit more in the winter when I know I'm not getting as much vitamin D from being outside and getting sunshine. The other one that I use for bone support is this Pro Bono. These are like packets that you take morning and night. So little packets like this, AM and PM. Each packet has a bunch of stuff in it. Obviously, it's kind of like a multivitamin, but with specific bone support. This is something that I started trying a few years ago because I was really struggling with bone density at that point. I actually was like this close to being diagnosed with osteoporosis, which was honestly kind of terrifying. I had seen the supplement at the clinic where I do my red light therapy, and I think I had asked them about it, and they told me that the company that makes this will guarantee that your bone density will improve if you take it for a year, or they will reimburse you for your year's worth of cost of the supplement. So that's really what convinced me to give it a shot. Obviously, I talked to my doctor about it first, and she was on board with me trying it. And I think it was after about 8 months or so of taking it that I redid my bone density testing, and I was no longer in the risk category. I was back within a normal range for someone my age, which was kind of amazing to me, but really felt like pretty good evidence that this supplement was working. That was really the only thing I had changed specifically for bone density. And obviously I'm already doing other things like strength training, weight bearing exercises. It's going to help to like put enough stress on the bones to actually build it, but then you do need those nutrients there for the rebuilding process. And I really think I have to give credit to this supplement for helping me with that. So if bone density is an issue for you, this might be one to look into. Another liquid that I restocked is this vitamin B. This again is sort of another one where it's like, I know my body is kind of depleted overall, given that I have low energy. B vitamins are pretty commonly supplemented in this situation, and this specific version is gonna be more well absorbed and used in the body than in like a pill form. So this is another one that's become a regular part of my rotation. Next up, we have a newer one that I shared recently, but this is the modified citrus pectin. And this is a new one that I started to help with detoxification, to help with removing some of the heavy metals. It's not gonna be like a super effective binder or something that is gonna magically rid me of the lead and mercury, but it's a really gentle, easy way to incorporate something daily that will help with that process. Just mix it in some water and drink it every morning, so it's really easy for me to get it in every day. And there's really no side effects associated with this, which is nice. So even though it might not be like the most effective way to detox heavy metals, even if it's just helping a little bit on a daily basis, it's something that I can incorporate, not worry about side effects, and know that it is at least helping a little bit in the long run. And lastly, I restocked my creatine. I started taking creatine many years ago, and it is something that I will continue to take probably forever. Creatine is pretty much the most well-researched supplement on the planet. Not only does it help with muscle recovery, muscle building, stamina, and endurance during workouts, but now there's more and more research on creatine's potential benefits for brain health as well. It's relatively inexpensive, it really doesn't have side effects, and like I said, it's been really, really well studied long term, so the risk of side effects with this is basically zero. When I first started taking it, I definitely noticed a difference in my workouts and how well I just was able to like recover within a workout, how much stronger I felt more powerful. I essentially could do a little more intensity in my workouts without feeling as tired or without it feeling as difficult. And I do think that over time it's helped me build more muscle, maintain more muscle, and just generally be able to do my workout more effectively and recover more effectively. As far as supplements go, in terms of the cost benefit ratio, like this whole thing was $54 and there's 100 servings. Yeah, in my mind, creatine, totally worth it. You do need to take it daily to kind of keep the effects going, but it also mixes really easily, has no taste or flavor. It's just another one that's like really easy to keep in my daily routine, and I know it's got really strong benefits. And actually, one other one that I recently restocked is magnesium. This is magnesium threonate. There are lots of different varieties of magnesium, kind of depending on what you're looking for, but generally magnesium is pretty often something that we are deficient in. So I do tend to keep a magnesium supplement on hand all the time. I'll sort of switch up which version I'm using so that I'm not taking the same kind or the same brand over and over again. Some versions of Some versions of magnesium can be more helpful or more geared towards like your brain health. Some is more for like mood or sleep. Some can be better for muscles. There are also a lot of brands that do kind of a blend of different things so that you can get some of the benefits from different kinds of magnesium all in one. I tend to just kind of cycle through different versions of magnesium, but always have some kind of magnesium supplement on hand. Again, because it's such a common deficiency, it's another one that I would recommend looking into or talking to your healthcare provider about, just as a general like supplement routine. But magnesium is another one that's been part of my daily rotation for a very long time. All right, I think that's it for the supplement haul today. If you have any questions on supplements, again, I'm not an expert on them, but I do have a lot of resources that I can point people towards. If you're looking for more information on different supplements, feel free to leave that in the comments below. Or if you have any supplements that you particularly love that you want to share, please leave that in the comments below as well. I just realized I never really ended this video, so this is me ending the video. Actually, just one other thought on supplements. These are not the only supplements that I take regularly. I do take other supplements that are maybe a little more specific for my particular situation or for me as an individual, or things that I kind of rotate through that I don't take continuously. Although there are also other supplements that I do take regularly that I just didn't include in this little roundup. But as much as I am a firm believer in using supplements where needed, I always come back to this quote I heard, and I can't remember who it's originally attributed to, but it's something along the lines of better living through chemistry still requires better living. So this idea that like supplementation or medications or whatever can be very useful, but they're not like a quick fix, and they really are working to supplement other things that you're doing and kind of work synergistically with like lifestyle changes, environmental changes, kind of all the little daily living things that you can do to also support your body and your health and wellness. So as much as I am going to keep taking my supplements, I'm also going to keep doing all of the other things that I'm doing on a regular basis. At least in my mind, those are the things that are allowing the supplements to kind of do their job or fill in any gaps, to be supportive to everything else that I'm doing. The supplements alone, while they might still have benefits, are going to be a lot more beneficial if it's done in combination with like actual behavioral and habit changes. So just wanted to kind of add that in. The supplements really are meant to be supplemental. Nobody has to take supplements, but I do really think they can have a lot of benefits when used correctly and when used in conjunction with daily lifestyle habits. Okay, so now I'll end the video for real. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for continuing with me on this journey, and I'll see you next week.